Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff, and today I want to show you Stampin' Up's new Hydrangea Hill product suite. Now I'm going to show you the products first, but then I have 4 card samples I've already made up, and we're going to make another one during this video. But this product suite makes gorgeous, gorgeous cards with these pretty soft colors and the hydrangeas. I think it's such a unique set, and I was really excited to share it with you. So here's the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. It has an outline stamp for the hydrangea, the stamps to fill in the color with them, some smaller accent flower stamps, stamp to fill them in if you like, some leaves, some little tiny flowers, nice little fill-in stamp for backgrounds, and then really, really pretty greetings. So we have "The world is better because of you," "You make me smile," "To an incredible woman," "You are capable of amazing things," "I appreciate all the little things you do." Just really nice, positive greetings. So this coordinates with this die set. So we have the one that cuts outside of the entire hydrangea. We have this fun little one that cuts the outside of the petals so you can pop them up, and you can layer this on top of the hydrangea if you like. I'll show you some samples here in a minute. We have the ones for the smaller flowers. This nice one cuts out 8 or 10 different flowers all with one pass through the machine, which is fantastic, and then a few little ones for tags. We have 2 embellishments that come with this product suite. Now, you can order this entire product suite with 1 item number if you're interested in that, or you can pick and choose. But here's the gorgeous grape sheer ribbon that comes with it. We have these beautiful pastel pearls that come in 4 different colors. This is the Hydrangea Hill Mercury Glass Designer Acetate. I had to look at the name there to remember all of that. But it comes in 2 colors. This, it looks like gorgeous grape. This one, I'm not exactly sure. It might be our Merlot color, but this is just a really nice, different type of paper to add to projects, to add something special. So I'll show you a couple of samples with those as well. And then here is this beautiful Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper. So we have mostly blues and pinks and purples, along with some green accents. Here is one side of the paper. When we flip over, we have all of these prints. So these are just so pretty. I'm going to show you a couple of samples where I didn't really do much at all and just use that designer paper. Actually, the sample we're going to make during this video is very simple as well, and we're going to use the designer paper. So let's look at my samples. And here, I'll show you this one first. This is one of those samples where I didn't really do much besides use the designer paper. I layered 2 different pieces of the designer paper on top of each other, wrapped the ribbon around, tied the bow, and then stamped the nice greeting. If you can see the piece I layered behind that, that is the back side of the acetate mercury glass paper, and the backside of the purple is silver. So you can see the backside right there. Here is another one that I used the designer paper around the outside, piece of that specialty paper here, and then on this piece right here, I just stamped repeatedly with 2 different stamps, "To an incredible woman," and "You are capable of amazing things." So that one was very easy to create. Now we'll step up a little bit in the detail on this card. So I have a piece of that acetate paper on the right side. I used that die that cuts out the petals, and I cut 3 different ones out of the designer paper. Stamp this greeting. I used that abstract stamp on the background and stamped several times without re-inking to get the faded effect. But I thought this one turned out really pretty with the pearls and the ribbon. And then this one is my absolute favorite. Now I want to grab the die set so I can explain how I did all of this. I've already received a question, even though the catalog has barely made it into the hands of customers already, but I've already received a question about how you use these dies to create cards. So this is a good project to explain that with. So I'll show this to you a little bit up close. I used a piece of designer paper in the background, This is a piece of vellum that I embossed with a Tasteful Textile embossing folder. And then I use the stamps and the dies to create the hydrangea. So first, I'll bring the stamps in too to make it a little easier to explain. First, I stamped the outline stamp with some smoky slate ink. I filled in the flowers with Old Olive, I believe, and Balmy Blue. I stamped off first on scrap paper before stamping onto here to get a faded effect. So I cut that out with this large die right here, and that's the base of all of this. Then I used this leaf detail die with Mossy Meadow cardstock and laid that on top of the leaves. I used this detail die. I had stamped with this stamp right here, stamped off with Balmy Blue ink to get the faded effect. Then I die cut it with this, and I used my piercing tool to lift up those little petals to give that texture. And then, as you can probably see, I used this die with all these little tiny petals, the little tiny flowers. I cut that out of Balmy Blue, laid a few of those on top, and added some of those pearls. Cut this tag with one of the little tags in the die set, and I just think this one is absolutely beautiful. So now, for a 5th card, we're going to make one right now that is very, very simple. So I'll tell you what we're going to need, and then we will create this in just a couple of minutes. We need a Rococo Rose card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5, a piece of this Hydrangea Hill designer paper that measures 4.25 by 5.5, another piece of Rococo Rose that measures 3 1/8 by 4 3/8, and a piece of white measuring 3 by 4.25. So first we want to stamp on this piece of white, and I have the big outline stamp for the hydrangea, and we're going to use this just like I did on the sample I just showed you with smoky slate ink. Now you could stamp this with black if you wanted the outline to show up better, or another color if you so desire, but I wanted it to be faded. I didn't want the outline to take away from the image itself. So I'm using smoky slate. Now for the leaves, we will use some Old Olive. I'm going to bring in some scrap paper to stamp off on. So I'll ink up my leaves, stamp off here, and then stamp here. Now for the flower itself, most of my samples were the blues and the purples, so I decided for this one to go with the pink. Of course, you could even branch out more outside of the colors I've used and outside of the color in the paper pack, but I thought I would just go with pink, so I'll stamp off there, stamp right there, and there we have a nice kind of watercolor effect hydrangea, and I just think that's really pretty. Now, right down here at the bottom, I am going to stamp this really nice greeting that says the world is better because of you. And I thought about popping it up, but I just decided to keep this really simple. Stamp it right over top. So now we are ready to assemble these pieces, which will come together very quickly. So I've been having fun highlighting a lot of the product suites in our upcoming catalog. So you'll have to let me know what you think about these. What are your favorites that you've seen so far? What would you like to see more of? If you are seeing tons of products you're interested in, something you can keep in mind is that you can sign up with Stampin' Up and be able to get a discount on all of your products. That is why almost all of us demonstrators sign up originally, was so we can get a discount. But you do not have to do classes, you do not have to sell products, you don't have to make videos, anything like that if you don't choose to. But it is something really great that you can do from home to build up an income if that is something that interests you. So a lot of times when we have new catalogs come out and people are just loving all the things they're seeing, it is a time that people are interested. Also, Celebration is coming January and February, and we're going to have a lot of we're going to have a sign up special as well. So you can comment in the comments below if you have questions about that. I would be happy to answer them. So as you can see, this is just a very, very simple card. Only took a couple of minutes to make. But when you want to add something extra to a really basic card like this, there's several things you can do. You can add some pearls, some little gems or sequins. Something I like to do a lot of times is add some Wink of Stella. And I thought about adding some Wink of Stella to the flower, which we could. You know what? Let's live life on the edge. Let's add some Stella. And then we are also going to add what I had planned. So I'm going to add this real quick and then I'll lift it up and show it to you a little bit. Can you see the shimmer that added to the flower? Not sure if you can see that or not, but it adds just a really subtle shimmer. Now, what I had planned on doing was using some of our fine tip glue pen. And this is a really fantastic glue for adding detailed pieces to your projects. But what's kind of fun about it is it also dries clear and it dries to sort of a hard glaze when it's dry. So you can use it as an accent on your projects on certain areas that you want to show up a little bit better. So I'm going to add some of this to certain flowers on the hydrangea, and then I will lift it up and show it to you a little closer. So I'm trying to balance a little bit with how many of these flowers I do. And I'll lift it up and show it to you. So that's just going to add some really nice glossy accents to some of the small flowers on that big flower bloom. So I hope this helped you get an idea of the Hydrangea Haven bundle and the Hydrangea Hill product suite and get an idea if this is something that you would like to have in your stamping collection. So if you have ideas or questions about this, I would be glad to answer them. If you have not seen Stampin' Up's new January through June 2021 mini catalog, let me know that too, and I would be happy to get one to you. You can get more ideas and inspiration on my blog at scrappingstampingandstuff.com. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again next time.